Good day, good day, good day. I am Yonder. I'm filling in for my good friend Reginald Kearney, the Urban Sentinel. I have a very special guest today, very special guest today. I can't wait to get this young lady on to the podcast. Been trying to get her for a minute. I am just thrilled to have her. I've met her a couple of years ago. We become my confidant, my mentor, and a whole lot of stuff. And she's an excellent writer and a whole lot of other things she does. Without further ado, I'd like to present to you Donna Gray Banks.
Hello, everybody. I didn't know it was all those things. That's wonderful. I love that for me.
You've done it for me. Well, look, I call this conversation with friends. So
Okay.
I have questions, but they're really not questions. It's just a conversation with friends. I still feel like when you have a conversation with friends, you don't have to have no questions. You just go into a conversation, a dialogue. What I want to do first is
Mhm.
let folks know who the CEO and the director and everything of the Fresh Book Festival. You tell them who it is, and you go from there.
Well, my name is Donna Gray Banks, and I am the founder and director of the Fresh Book Festival in the beautiful city of Daytona
They
Beach. We
tell,
are in our 15th year,
yes.
and we're so excited about two things: that it's the 15th year, and the city will be celebrating 150 years. So it's kind of twofold for a celebration. And it started in 2011. Yeah, 2011. And it started because we melanated people of color, really did not have a platform for book selling or a real book festival in the state of Florida for them. Since that time, many have developed, and I'm so glad about it because there's never enough. I think book festivals are like Wendy's and McDonald's and Burger King. They all sell the same thing, but you
Mhm.
all make money, right? So
Yes.
I'm never afraid of someone who says they want to do a book festival because reading was something that we as a people were not allowed to do. So if I can get a group of people who want to read, I don't care where you do it or how you do it. And so we're just excited about the trajectory that's happening. And it is January 29th through the 31st this year, because if you know anything about Daytona Beach, you know that there's always something going on. And so Bike Week was moved up a week, and I think the 500 was moved up a week. And so we had to go to January. But I don't really, I guess that happens with the calendar every now and then. And we're kind of up against the Zora Neale Hurston Festival, but we've had dialogue, so I think everybody's good. Calendars just change. So yeah, so excited. It is at the Julia T. and Charles Cherry Community Center. We call it the Cherry Center in Daytona Beach. And Mr. Booker T. Madison, if you know him, he's a renowned filmmaker, will be coming this year. He was here several years ago, but when you're at the top of your game, the last place you end up is in Daytona Beach. But we are really good friends, and he has found time for us here in the city of Daytona Beach, and I'm so excited that he's coming. We have some surprises. I don't want to put them out there yet just because the contracts haven't been signed, but really excited. Yes, thank you for asking.
And tell them what Fresh stands for, Donna.
Fiction, romance, erotica, spiritual, and health, happiness, hungry, whatever the H stands for.
I I love that because you found book festivals that just have a name, just symbolic name, but yours actually means something, and I appreciate that because you got the E in there,
Oh,
erotica.
absolutely.
As you know,
Absolutely.
we both write that.
That's right. Exactly. And so that was another reason why I wanted to start a book festival, because erotica written by a woman, if it wasn't Zane, then it was, pornography, which is crazy. And I want to kind of explain to everybody that pornography is what you watch and erotica is what you do.
Come on. Now you say that one more time, Sister Donna.
Pornography is what you watch, and as erotica is what you do. And so there's a very real difference in how it's developed and how people should look at it. So, yeah.
And you said you've been doing a Fresh Book Festival. You're going on the 15th year this year.
The
In
January
January.
will be 15 years. So excited about that,
That is
and the
excellent.
correlation with 150 years and for the city of Daytona Beach. There were two gentlemen, melanated gentlemen. I have a picture somewhere. I'll send it to you. Who were at the signing of the declaration for the city to be a city? They weren't allowed to sit with everybody else. They were kind of on the side, but that just tells me that when we think we're not at the table, we might not be seen at the table, but we're somewhere in the room, right? And so that's so important for people to understand that we might not be able to make all the decisions, but sometimes when you're ear hustling, you can make your own decisions after the decision has been made. So it was really good to see those two gentlemen in the room during the declaration of the city of Daytona Beach. Yeah.
Yeah, that's I remember I think it's Dr. Dorothy Height said that when she was always doing something with the civil rights thing years ago, that when the picture was taken, she was always taken out of it because she was on
Right.
one of the corners. So she started being in the middle.
Right. You got
She said, I ain't doing that no more. I'm in
yeah,
the middle. Y'all gonna get me.
yeah, you got to. I mean, now this was way back in in the
Mm-hmm.
hundreds, but now you really have to be saying. I do sometimes shy away from being in front of the camera because I guess I'm in front of the camera so much. I want other people to be recognized for what they do. Um, and I think I posted something this today that said, my cup runneth over, but even in my life and in my business, I still understand that melanation has a fight. So, and I at one point I think I got to um, where I was tired of fighting. I mean, I've been fighting since 1972 when you could fight,
Right, right, right.
during the civil rights era,
You
and
fight now and they put you out of the country.
yeah, right.
Right, right. I'm just let's be honest about
Yeah,
it. Look, let's do a little politics. But you're
yeah,
right.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
you
So,
can fight then with all the rights and
right,
finally get something out of it. You fight now, they
right.
trying to put you out of the country.
Well, sometimes silence can be very strategic. So,
Yes,
yeah, I don't think that that's um, a bad thing. I don't think everybody has to know all the moves you're making.
yes.
Yeah, as long as we're
That's
making good positive moves, then that's what counts. And I think a lot of people who are seasoned, I'm a seasoned person,
hmm
um, can do a lot of good right from their house. And I don't
right.
want to turn this into a political thing, but
Good trouble. Good trouble. Good
yeah,
trouble.
good.
I'm with you.
You can write your senator, you can call your senator, you can email your senators and representatives, you can make phone bank calls. There's a lot you can do from your house. So get involved, get into some good trouble. So
Okay, well, let's go into what I want you. One of the other subjects I want to talk to you about.
okay.
These great. Let me just put them all out. Let me.
Oh, you can put
Hopefully, my
yours up
camera
there
can.
too now. You got about five,
Ho- ho-
six.
hopefully my camera can get them all. Let me
They got
tell y'all. Let me tell y'all. Being an erotic writer, I read stuff and I be like, it's not because my stuff that good. It's just a whole lot of folks haven't done erotica right. Donna
right.
can preach on this too. But can I tell you something, y'all? Look, this right here, I told her there ain't a whole lot of books that I just got to read a whole book. I was reading these books. My wife was like, "What are they? What are they about?" I was like, "You don't understand. You don't understand." Because I couldn't put your stuff down. Then you sent me another one. Then you sent me another one. I couldn't put your books down. These books, you could tell some of it was personal. Let me put it that way.
Oh, absolutely. There's a little bit of truth in everything that you write, right?
Right.
So,
And what I did have a
and
couple
you should
questions.
know that because one of your
Yes.
characters is, yeah,
Yes, yeah. I got a
won't tell
question
on
for
you.
you. I got a question for you.
uh-huh,
You have besides having a government background,
uh-huh.
how did you come with your storyline? Because your storyline, people don't realize, erotica is just not. Let me break it down, Donna.
Okay.
Erotica is just not sex. Her storyline is crazy. You with the police, you over here, you got some spies, you got some spies going on. It's some good
Yeah,
sex over here. Somebody's smoking some weed on that side.
yeah.
Folks up, sometimes you lost and I had to go back and say, hold up, and start writing notes. Hold up. Where was she at? Then you went from, which most people don't realize, they call it DMV now. It's always been the DMV,
It's
Detroit,
always been the
Virginia.
DMV.
It's always been that. But you start intertwining Crystal City and DC. You was uptown. You was Georgetown. You was at Haynes Point, girl. I started writing down those like,
Well, you know what? But you're very familiar with the area, so
yes, but
that
but
even
you
made it more engrossing for you. Yeah.
but you entangled it. You had to understand this. I was like, oh, look. I was writing notes on this, trying to catch back up myself. You not just put great love making, great sex. You put great mystery. There was just I didn't know where you was going,
Mm,
and I love that.
yeah.
Tell me a little about that, about your background in government.
Well, I worked for the CI, Central Intelligence Agency, many, many years ago.
Hmm.
And I won't have to kill you to tell you
What?
that because
I,
whatever I knew back then, nothing's going on.
they ain't doing right, right,
It's,
right, right.
it's a brave new world now. But did that for many, many years and then stayed in the federal government for in different aspects for many, many years. So it was and then you cannot write about it for many years either. So you have to be out of the government. You sign a contract that you won't
Yep.
talk about it. And so I really couldn't even write until '08. That was when I wrote the first book. And I was cautious about using names but places was okay. So
Hmm.
it and it just evolved. Isla is my grandmother who I never met. She was, I believe, I'm not really sure whether she was a mulatto or Italian. We're not really sure. She had three children and died very, very young. And I never really got to know her. So we were going, I was very young. We were going to the cemetery to see her plaque or whatever you want to call it, her stone. And nobody knew where it was. You know, it's back in the day. They really didn't
Hmm.
plot right. So,
Yes.
and then my father kept saying, I think it's over there where you are. I think it's over there where you are. And I looked down and I'm standing on her.
Oh,
Yeah, because it was just
yeah.
not a,
I
yeah,
understand
yeah.
completely.
And I thought, oh my God, here she is. And I knew from that day that I was going to write a story in her honor because I really never knew who she was. But
Hmm.
beautiful woman, and very before her time because she married a melanated gentleman, and he somehow just disappeared. So
Mm.
yeah, so you know we all have in our history in we have stories about people who have decided to do something just a little bit different back in the 30s and in the 20s and the 40s and their lives were taken or
Right.
never seen again. So yeah, so yeah, that's her. And I knew that I was going, and then my father passed in 1999, and so I knew I had to have a dedication to him. So
Hmm.
his the last book that I wrote, Isla's Diamonds, the houses that Jack built,
Hmm.
is a dedication to my dad.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Oh, this one right here. Okay,
And
got
that's
you.
the one that went Amazon bestseller. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I said, look at her playing.
Yeah.
She
It
ain't playing
did.
with people no more.
It did. It went Amazon bestseller. I have had a real hard time in these last 2 years writing anything. I don't know what that's about. So I've been writing other ways. I write for the newspaper. I write for an article, internet magazine called blackmeninamerica.com. Don't kill me, Mr. Gary Johnson, if I did that wrong, but
That's it. I know Gary
that's it.
Wilson.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
Blackmeninamerica.com. That's it.
I
That's
write
it.
for them. I write for the Daytona Times.
Hmm.
And so if I say anything to a writer, if you get stuck, write for somebody else.
Right.
Write something else.
I agree with you because I write for urban. I write for Urban Centennial. Like I
Mhm,
said, when I get stuck, I
mhm,
write for someone else. I
mhm.
submit poems to the newspaper.
Right.
One of
Yeah.
these old 50 newspapers because I have to keep doing it, but to keep it sharp. But it's not necessarily what I want to write.
Right. Right. But it keeps your skill up, right?
It keeps it's
Um,
like sewing. I'm
it
sewing. I'm still
is.
sewing, but it's just not the outfit I'm trying. It's
Right.
not the outfit I want to make, but I'm still sewing to keep my skill set up.
Right. And then I found some success online. You know, I had my own online YouTube channel for a very, very long time. And then I just recently did a an interview with Mr. Gary Johnson
Okay.
on menopause, and it has done extremely well. There were four gentlemen in a room, and we just talked about a woman going through menopause, things that they never even thought about or understood, and doing very well. It has about, I don't know, 15,000 hits on it now because
Oh,
it's a
that's good.
story. Yeah, it's a story that my mother was 17, I think, or 16 when she got pregnant. And so I didn't realize when I was 14 or 15 that she was going through menopause, right? She never really talked about it. I know that she threw a frozen chicken at me. I thought she was crazy. I said, this woman's crazy. But I didn't realize that she was going through her own um, personal issues at the time, you know, and she never talked about it. And so, and I never talked to my son about it either. And I think that that's a mistake. I think women should talk to their sons about what to expect from a woman, you know. And this is only my own personal experience. I do know that a woman starts to develop her eggs at birth. So that's 10 years coming. And the average menstrual cycle starts at 10.
Mm-hmm.
And then about 45, 47, it starts to go away. The eggs start to dry up and fall off. But in that process, a lot of other things happen. So
Right.
so it was a good conversation. Thank you, Gary, wherever you are.
Yeah, yeah, Gary, good dude. Oh, that's deep right there. Like you
Yeah.
said, it's something that no one talks about. We talk about all the good things surrounding sex, but we don't talk about the not so pleasant things because that's part of what goes on.
Yeah, I'm going to kind of interject that in my next book just because
Mm-hmm.
the conversations are not had. You know, at 45, we start going through menopause, and so do you. So,
Yes,
you know, you have your own issues about erectile dysfunction, about, you never tell a man, is that a spot in your head? Is it getting bigger?
girl, come on, come on.
just don't say, just don't
But
say.
you are so right. And down, and one of the things what men don't realize is unless you constantly go to the doctor and have a PCP or just familiar with things,
Right,
our testosterone level starts to decrease at 29. You think you're the man at 29. It's decreasing at 29.
right.
So you thinking, like I said, so ED didn't just start then.
No,
It was starting then.
then,
It's worse at
right.
another age.
And then the downside to that is after we've gone through our 10 years coming and our 10 years going, that now we're on the other side and we're thinking, damn, we can really rock and roll. But then you have a partner whose role can't rock anymore, right?
Right, right,
So
right, right, right.
it is a dilemma, but there are things that you have to realize, and that is that into me, I see intimacy is so important,
Intimacy. Mm-hmm.
right? So if you can find a way to get that kind of intimacy and still be fulfilled by it without, no more banging because nobody's banging it anymore. But enjoying each other's company,
Right.
understanding that, tantra, the touch,
Mm-hmm.
is very important. So,
And if you have realized, like we both talk about our books. One of the things about writing erotica is we see and feel and smell stuff that other folks have no idea about.
oh, right. I
So,
think even in your book, when your main character, I can't remember his name, I'm sorry,
Mr. Rowe, Mr. Rowe,
right, right. The plane.
exactly,
Yeah, yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah. So when he walked into a room or when he smelled something, you smelled that. You smelled it.
Right.
There was a scene when he was having an argument with his mother, and you could just feel that tensity between the two of them, and that's what's so important when you're writing. I don't know if it's just erotica, but I think if you're writing, period, when you walk into a room, everybody should know what's in that room. Like if I were to write the scene right now, I would tell everybody that there's and a Mani doll behind me. There African artwork behind me. There's a wedding doll beside me, and the smell of jasmine is all over the room.
No, no,
That's
wrong.
important.
That is, I
Yeah.
wrote when I wrote one of the scenes, it was a scene at Union Station. I sat in Union Station and wrote the scene
And you said
because I
something
had to
about
say how.
the smell of cigarettes
Yeah,
and
yeah, the bumps
perfume.
coming through this way. Then I
Yeah,
had to do I had to say how the drawing is, how they drew the
yeah,
Union Station, the old nuts that some of them were 1950, some of 1960s. They had the 80s nuts there, but you could
yeah,
tell.
yeah,
I sat
yeah.
there and wrote that, and I went to that's when what was it called? Fat Tuesday. So had a
Right.
Fat Tuesday drink, came back out there and wrote some more. And when people read that thing, they be like, "Oh my gosh, you
Yeah.
captured." I said, I sat there. I had been there numerous times, but I had never captured it
Right.
until I sat there
I think
and
you said
wrote that
something
thing.
about the different smells of perfume, and then
Yes.
I mean, it was a yeah. You had to be, and so I like to write so people feel where I am,
Mm-hmm.
which is so I don't like people to write. Oh, they walked in the room and they started talking. What? No.
No.
You got a
Yo, yo,
you got a author that or a fellow author that came in to say hello to y'all. So I popped in
Hey,
to say
Bianca.
this in,
Hi,
but
nice to
Bianca
see
Moore,
you.
we're saying hello to the crowd here. So she came in and
oh,
said
hey,
hello.
Bianca.
So
Hi,
Bianca
Hey.
Bianca.
popped in to say hello to everybody. We'll see if anybody else pops in as well. Hey, Yonder, I have to ask you, since you were at Union
Mm.
Station, it's been a minute since I've been at a urban bus station. I go to the one here in Durham, which is a smaller city and everything, or definitely a subway. And I was wondering, did you have any street musicians in your book and everything like that? Because that is one of the things I always think about when I go
I
to
don't
places like,
remember a street
and you,
musician.
I didn't, but I should have, because there
Yeah,
was
I don't
always a guy
remember.
sitting outside. One dude played congos, and one dude had a horn. I did not write them
No,
in
you
there,
did
but
not.
but
No,
they
you're
sure were
right.
there.
Yeah.
They sure were there.
yeah,
Mhm.
a lot of times street musicians are there and everything like that. I have to tease Miss Donna as well because before when y'all were on, she was telling me, and I thought that that was kind of funny and everything that she has that lovely bridal
Oh yeah.
doll and everything, but apparently it was a divorce doll. So I'm going like,
Gave it to me as a gift. It was too funny. I have friends with strange sense of humor. I thought it was really, really funny. I got my divorce papers, and then the next day, this dollar. It's
Oh,
a
it was
beautiful
divorce
doll.
gift. Oh,
Yeah.
that's another story right there,
Yeah,
Donna.
that's
exactly.
that's a whole other story. The divorce doll
The divorce star. She's beautiful, though. Yeah. I was,
That is a story right there.
could be a whole other book. The divorce doll.
It is. I'm thinking like, man,
I got
they
some very interesting. I mean, if you're around people like minded, like at the Fresh Book Festival, when you walk in a room, everybody, it's like a piece of good salmon. I love salmon, right? All the ingredients are on it. It's baked really, really well, and everybody's willing to share, right? And I love that about that particular festival. So
Yeah,
and
sounds like
Donna, it's the only festival I do now. I don't care
I
who else
love
doing
that.
whatever he's doing. I say, okay, no matter what I'm doing, I can do book signings very well. That's on my calendar. And let me just describe this to the book reader, to the writer, to the actor, to the author. The thing about this is you get there and you meet your family. Kareem's my family. Donna's my family. Stan's my cousin. Really, his last name is Stan's my cousin. Nadine.
Tony Bonita,
Pam. Come on.
uh
Bethune. Evelyn Bethune.
Angie
Troy.
Ransom Jones. Yeah.
Troy, both Troys. I mean, I
Mhm.
have never been to I've been doing this thing about 20 some odd years. This is the only event, like I said, it's the only event I do once a year now. I do have a little book signing, but I'm gonna do another one. I'm doing a little thing down here in the last week of September, Tampa Bay Black Authors thing. But this right here, what you throw, Donna, I mean,
Yeah,
that Thursday, that Friday, that Saturday,
it's
Sunday, I'm
amazing.
sad to go home.
I
Who
know.
we said man, mind you, man, Troy sat in the hotel Sunday evening till 4 o'clock. The event ended Saturday. We was like, man, he was like, we just talked about that, and then I've let me see, I have two books out from that event that I've been 2 years ago. I have a
All
third book
right.
out that we're
The
working on now.
connections are amazing.
I,
They're just amazing.
every podcast I've been on last 2 years has been from your people.
Yeah. I want us, and that's what it's all about, right?
I mean, it's
And you've
just
been in two books, two anthologies, right?
two anthologies. Yep,
Right.
two,
Those
and
are-
we were our third is out. Our third is up soon.
right.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, just dealing with pain, working with you, working with Angie B. I mean, just it's a whole different world.
And here's the thing, for those of you who've never been to a pretty much all melanated book festival, it's just that this is a small community. When somebody says, "Oh, you wrote," oh, everybody writes a book. No, everybody
No,
doesn't.
everybody does it.
So our community is very small. From you know the ones that aren't with us anymore to the people who are really doing big things, right? Brian W. Smith and Victor McLaughlin. I can't pay those guys to come to Fresh because they are on a whole nother level, but they come upon invitation, and I'm just so grateful about that.
Oh, and Victor's one of my best friends now too.
Oh, Victor! Oh,
Oh, Victor,
yeah,
one of my dudes
love
too.
Victor.
We sat out one night and we exchanged phone numbers until he went on a plane, got on a plane early that morning. We exchanged phone numbers. He told me what movie he what sitcom he had, not sitcom, what movie he did. I've
Yeah,
been remember watched and watched it. Oh yeah, Victor, my man, that too. Like I said, these people become your family.
right.
People, I've been at numerous of these events, but your event, I I talked to actually crazy part about it. I've talked to you today, I've talked to Stan today, and I talked to Pam today. How you talk to three people from the event? I talked to three of you guys today.
It's an amazing connection. And here's the other thing: if you are an author wanting to just begin,
Yes.
this is the festival for you, because you'll find a ghostwriter, you'll find an editor, you'll find a
Yes.
screenplay writer, you'll find a photographer, you'll find an illustrator, and you will find the connection that you need to make your book happen. And that's what it's all about. I mean, I remember in '08 going to festivals, and they had this long chart of people, and of course I was the only one on it, right? And I thought, this is just not what
Mm-mm.
I want to do, right? I
Hmm.
want to be in a room where there are people who look like me,
Yes.
right? And so, and we've evolved from that, because you have to,
Oh, you got everything. You have everybody.
So
Speaking of
everybody's
that,
there now, but in the beginning, it was specifically a melanated situation, just because we didn't have anywhere else to go.
well, speaking
And
of that, there was a major event that took place regularly in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and the lady was actually a librarian. So I was just wondering if you ever had any chance. Unfortunately, she passed away about 3 years ago, to work with Sylvia Sprinkle Hamlin, who is the executive producer of the National Black Theater Festival. I think it's called the International
I
Black
did
Theater
not get to
Festival
meet
now.
her, but we did have a conversation like 7 years ago. She's been dead for how long?
Since 2022.
Yeah, so we never got a chance to meet. We did have a conversation, and I don't really understand how we met, but we talked on the phone for a long time. She gave me some real pointers, and her biggest pointer was, it's not about you.
Exactly. And she definitely
Don't
knew that from her
don't let it be
husband,
about
who
you.
started that festival and everything like that. And then, like I said, she took it over after he had passed away back in 2007. So he was the founder and all along those lines. And then she took it over in 2007. Then after the pandemic, they moved it to the even year. So it'll actually be not this year, but the following year. So it'll be in
Right.
2026 and everything like that. But yeah, she was.
Yeah, she did say it'll morph on its own. Don't make it about you. Make it about literacy, and it'll
Right.
take care of itself. And so that was the best pointer she ever could have gave me.
And that's a
Because
great.
sometimes you think it is about all about you. You try not to, but
And
um,
sometimes people get caught up in that and
right.
everything. So I was wondering, how do you encourage people, whether they're authors or others that are even coming to your festival, to get away from that mindset? And this is for both you and Yonder, because I do know some people that are artists and authors, and sometimes it feels like they are too busy trying to make it about themselves. And I do agree with what Sylvia said, that you can't make it about yourself, but you do have some people that are a little bit on the egotistical side and our creative side. So how do you get past those folks and get them to calm down, for lack of a better term?
I don't really dwell on those people, right? Because they have their own trajectory that they're on, and I'm not mad about that,
Right,
right? I wish we were all on that trajectory, but when a rocket goes up in the air, it disengages, right?
right,
So I deal with all the people with the disengagement that are still trying to get to the rocket, right?
right.
If you're already up there, I don't need to help you.
That's true.
So I am all about the disengagement, the people who are left behind when you are, through the stratosphere. And no shade, I love that for us.
No,
But there's a whole lot of us left in the smoke that really need help. So
no,
And that's
definitely.
where I come into. I come into that. I like how you said that because I like you said, I've hit the stratosphere, came out of it. Even though I'm an author, I bring sell books. I come to meet people, to sit down with people. Young lady behind me last year, what's the young lady's name?
on
Had a
Jeanette
doll
Bryant.
baby. Nadine, she had a doll
Oh,
baby.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I was just saying, hey girl, this is what you do. And I told her what day the school kids gonna be there. I said, look, set your table right. I'm gonna move over here. They can have one of my chairs they need to. This your day, cause them little girls gonna love that little doll baby you got.
Mhm.
I come to encourage because when we all first came out, as you know, Donna, wasn't nobody there but you. You was at the table by yourself trying to figure it out. So this is like a training ground. Like, hey, set your table up this way, talk this way, make sure you got PayPal, make sure you have that, because there was no teaching when we were doing it, Donna. Like I
Oh,
sold my
right.
books out of my trunk. There was no Amazon. There was no Cash App. There
Nothing.
was no PayPal. You
Nothing.
come on, we
You
came
just
out
had
strong.
to do it by cash or whatever like that.
Right. We had
And
the
your
little
books are in your
envelopes with the
trunk.
cash inside.
Your books are
Hey,
in your trunk.
John, just really quickly, thought crossed my mind because I know here in Durham and in other places there have been a lot of, and I'm sure you've had them in your festival as well, a lot of children authors and everything. So, what advice
Yes.
would you give to people that are youngsters, like maybe in high school or junior high, that are just now getting, this is for you, Yonder, as well, just now
Yeah.
getting their books out there? Because I do know that there is a growing amount of young people that are writing some amazing books. I've seen some of these books that are written by kid authors and all along those lines. So, what advice and what kid authors have you seen down in Florida that have really impressed you and you Yonder up in the Maryland area? Because I've seen a lot, even here in Durham, that will blow your mind away because they've written about stories about science and stories about fantasy and all kinds of stuff and all along those lines. But I just wondering, what are some kid authors that have really inspired you?
I've had some, but I don't do a really good job at that. I really could do better. I think because there's so many people in the mid range that we kind of forget about the children. And I'm glad you said something because maybe I'll have two or three at this particular festival because it's going to be huge with the city celebrating 150 years. We'll probably have a lot of community people there. But I'll tell anybody, young author, seasoned author, midterm author, most people don't make the bestsellers list until they're 50.
Mm-hmm.
You say it again.
You got to do the work.
Say it. You can
Like,
say it
don't be
again.
discouraged.
This is not happening tomorrow.
Don't be discouraged. Just
But
keep
yeah.
writing, um, and just, yeah, we need to reach out more. And I'm a part of a jazz society also. So the jazz society really reaches the musicians and really tries to bring them in to be we're doing something called For the Love of Quincy Jones,
Okay.
November the 5th, November the 1st. And so we've brought in all kind of musicians and youth. But yeah, I need to do a better job. I don't know about you, Jan.
I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you with that. The
Okay.
first thing I do is when I meet the young ones, actually, before I even ask what the book about, I say, "Hey, how much your book?" They tell me how much. Here's your money.
Right.
That allows me time to talk to you now. Now, how you getting this out? What you doing? And sometimes they had their parents with them, so I'll get them some pointers from there because I wish I had a person back then that could push me when I was younger. When I have an event I'm doing sometime in September, later this month, Tampa Bay Black Authors Association thing. And it was a young girl there last year. And actually, I told her about your event. So when I see them this year and next 2 weeks, I'm going to sit down with them and their parents and say, hey, here's the young lady's information. Here's the website. You guys really need to be there because they would really, really do good with it. And we'll be that. We'll be that family that they need because
Yeah.
it's a good day out there, but it's a bad day out there. There's some shysters out there who try to take the money and
Mhm.
everything. So, and the mothers didn't know, the children knew how to write. The mothers caught themselves being managers, but they didn't know the game. So I started teaching them the game. Each time I'm with a younger author, I'll say, "Hey, where's your mama at? Where your daddy at? Hey." Then I'll say, "Well, this what we doing. This how you do this. This how you do this. This how you do it. Do you guys own this? Is your copyright? Recopyright it, put it under this. Just trying to get them. You can't give them all that in that 10 minutes. But one of the biggest things about your event, Donna, I got you for 3 days.
Right.
I got you for 3 days. We're gonna sit down. We're gonna eat some
Right.
lunch. We're gonna have some breakfast in the morning. We have some lunch. We're gonna watch the jazz band. I got you for 3 days, so I can feed you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most times with defense, I can't feed you for the 3 hours we're there together, unless
I
you
think, and
call.
the other thing, Mark, is that I think a couple of times I tried to interact, and it was the parents who gave
Yes,
me the
that's
pushback,
true. That's
right?
true.
And so,
The reason I'm laughing at it is because I have a younger brother. I only have one sibling and everything, but he's been married a couple of times, and his current fiance, because they've been engaged now for a while, because he was married twice. But her she has two kids. Celia does, and her daughter is a young school teacher, and that's the reason I started laughing, because that's what she said. Is she had a meeting, because it's the beginning of the school year, so she had a meeting with the parents and
mhm,
everything. So I asked her, I said, how's school going? Because we were doing an event for my dad and his lady love and everything, because they were celebrating their 80th and 85th birthday. And I said, Effie, how's school going? She's like, Mark, those parents are about to ready to drive me crazy and everything, because it was the parents and the administrators and the adults that were giving her a hard time, because she's a young teacher. She's like 22, 23, something like that. And she was like, one of the parents was sitting there and wanted to give her a hard time. And she's trying to talk to a variety of parents. And this one parent was like wanting to be the prima
the
donna. She
focal
was like,
point,
I
right?
got a bunch of parents I got to deal with and everything. So you got to take a chill pill. I'll get to you. And she was like, the parent was like, well, I'm gone, and went off in a tiff. And Effie was like, hey, if you want to leave, you can leave, but I got to deal with it in a correct order and everything. I can say I got you're not the only parent, but she was
Right.
having that
Right.
ego thing. So she
I
was,
will say that the two encounters I had, the first thing they wanted was for him to get, or her to get, a stipend, and I was like, I'm giving him a free table.
Right.
I'm not gonna give him a stipend when I can give Victor McLaughlin some
Come on. Right.
money
Right.
to
Right.
come, right?
I got real stars coming
Yeah,
in here. Right.
you
I got
know,
real. Right. 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 Right.
speaking of real stars, there's a major star that is on a book tour. Matter of fact, she'll be here in my city of Durham next month and everything along those lines. So I'm just wondering, is Kamala going to be making an appearance at your festival?
oh
Because
my
Kamala's got her
God,
book out
what
now and
I would
everything.
do to have Kamala at my book festival, man, oh man, I mean, it's
Sometimes it's just a matter of asking. Like I said,
yeah,
Deepak
maybe
is
it's
this.
just
Oh.
an email or a letter, right?
Yeah,
I would love that.
because Deepak is a sizable theater here. I think it seats about 2,000 or something like that. But she'll be
Mhm.
appearing. I think it's in the middle of October, because she is going on a book tour. So, like I said, if she's going on a book tour, a book festival,
I
it makes
know. Well,
logical sense. So
let
you
me
might just
write
have to
that
send her an
down.
email.
I have no shame. I mean, a no is a no. Well, no to me is next opportunity, right?
Right.
So, but
And
yeah,
maybe she says no and Michelle says yes. So maybe you send a
oh
letter to
my
both of them.
God,
Right.
please.
Right. 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 Right.
That would be fabulous, especially since we're celebrating 150 years for the city and 15 years for Fresh. So I'm not ashamed. I will definitely send a letter or email to try to make that happen. That would be, yeah.
And look, Don, let's just put it out in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Michelle Obama and Kamala
Kamala.
Harris, the Fresh Book Festival would like you to have you.
Yeah, we'd love to have you. We'd love
That's all
to.
you got to do. Just
Let
send it
this
out
thing
to them
go
and
viral.
everything.
Michelle,
Yeah,
Kamala, y'all both can come.
yeah, please.
Why
Yeah.
not bring both of them? They both can go there, like I said, because I just found out that she's going to be in my town, and I am going to try to make those tickets if I'm not busy with just networking and everything. But yeah, I'm going to try to make it to Kamala's appearance. I got to ask you about two people, and then we'll turn it back over to Yonder and everything. But unfortunately, both of
Okay.
them have passed, and all along those lines. But they were two legends, and I'm just wondering if you had any dealings, either you or Yonder, with Mickey Grant, because when I used to go to the National Black Theater Festival, she was a good. She would definitely say hello to me, make sure that I was still writing and still engaged in the theater world and journalism and the stuff and different things that she knew I was involved in. So she was almost like a play aunt, for lack of a better term. And then Ruby and Ossie, Ruby actually came to the Cultural Arts Center that I work at doing her book, My One Good Nerve, which also became a play. And Ossie surprised her on their
Right.
anniversary date. And this was like decades ago and everything. But I was wondering if you ever had any encounters with either Ruby or with Mickey Grant.
I wish. I mean, I spent so many years in the government where you couldn't say, do, or talk, right? So, and that was during their heyday,
Right.
right? So when I came out of that situation, they were kind of, coming down into their own and not really involved as much in the theater. So I really missed opportunities like the Million Man March. I mean, those kind of things where you had the opportunity to meet those kind of people because they were there,
Right.
and I wasn't allowed to go. So
Okay.
I would have done anything to be able to meet either one of them.
Oh, yeah, there
But
were definitely two
in
legends.
20 years of your life, you're not allowed to say boo, even to the people in Publix. I mean,
Now
that
that
giant,
you're working for the government.
this giant eagle. Was it Giant? What was it? What was the grocery store? Giant?
Giant and Safeway.
Yeah, Safeway.
Oh, Joe,
So,
Safeway. I remember
yeah,
Safeway.
I used to see people I work with, and you couldn't even,
Wow.
nod your head and keep walking, right? So it was very restrictive. And I wear orange and red and blue now because for 20 years I could only wear black, dark blue,
Dark
and
blue.
brown,
Wow.
right?
Those
And so,
government colors and
yeah,
everything.
and
Yeah.
so, yeah, there are a lot of times when I really
So you
wanted,
could blend in. They blend in
right,
colors. You always had to
Yeah.
blend in.
right,
You definitely had to blend.
particularly for a black female, you just couldn't
You
stand out.
definitely had to blend in. You mentioned it's in your neck of the woods as well. What's something that you've learned about Zora that surprised you and everything? Because I know she taught at NCCU, which is actually the school that Reggie went to, and all along those
She
lines.
was
So
a smoker and had a mouth like a sailor. I love
yes,
that about her.
yep,
I love that about her. She didn't take no stuff from nobody. And she was an excellent writer. And yeah, I did read most of her writings. But as far as being a forward thinking woman
Mhm.
and having her own mindset, and that's what I loved about her. That she said, I said what I said. And that was before people said that. I said what I said. You don't like it, I don't care. Right? Love that. I hate the fact that Eatonville is not spotlighted like it should be. It used to have a big sign on I-4, home of Zora Neale Hurston, but a lot of that is political. I don't
Yeah,
want to get into that.
we know.
But the festival is still really huge, and I'm
Mhm.
so disappointed that our dates are going to be the same because I'm usually there. But hopefully that won't happen next year. We'll be back in February.
Yeah,
So
there was a lot
yeah,
of
she was a lady. I love that. She was
and there
a
was a lot of
lady and a
forward-thinking
sailor all
women
at the
doing.
same time. I'm
There
sorry,
were a
Mike.
lot of forward-thinking women during that time because I know my grandma
Right.
started the Richard B. Harrison Library back in the '40s, which is the Black Library in Raleigh, North Carolina, our state capital. So, and went to Columbia University at a time that Black folks didn't go to that particular
Right.
university and everything like that. So, definitely there were some, and was a contemporary of Zora Neale. I think that they were at the around the Durham during that same time and everything like that. So they were contemporaries of each other and everything. But yeah, they definitely had their things and everything. There were a lot of women like that because I was actually thinking of the one thing my grandmother was known for was apparently Arna Bontemps, the author, along with Langston Hughes, sent letters back and forth to each other. And there's those letters that are
Wow.
published as a anthology of as like a collection of the letters to each other. And one of the things they said was, "We got to stop by Miss Lee's house because she's gonna have that snops and everything. So that peppermint
Right.
schnapps is something
Right,
she was
right,
gonna
right,
have." So
right.
they said,
You're
"They
gonna have
gonna
a
come
shot
by
or
there and get some of
something.
that peppermint schnapps."
Hmm.
Exactly. Yeah, um those are trailblazers that I really wish I could have spent some time with. But I do know that it is very interesting, even in 2025, to be a woman who has who wants to say what she wants to say, and once it's said, it's how it's received,
Hmm.
and that really hasn't changed a whole lot, unfortunately.
It hasn't.
The younger women are a little better at it. I'm not really sure they are um, putting it together the right way. But I've learned to be nasty nice.
Nasty nice is a good thing. They're better at it, the younger women, but as I mentioned to Yonder on a past show, they're also a little bit more bolder and everything like that. Because I've had some young women in their 30s and 40s that basically have told me that they are frustrated with their age peers and everything like that. So they're actually looking at people. I think Yonder's a few years older than me because I'm in my early 60s and everything like that. But they're looking at guys that are older than them, not to be sugar daddies, but to be their relationship because they are frustrated by what they say are young people that don't have a mission or a journey and everything like that. Because I heard that from a couple of young women in both their 30s and 40s. So I don't know whether you've seen that down in Florida where you are, but there's a lot
Oh
of.
yeah, I got some really young, dynamic women. I wish there were more men who have the ability, but maybe that's because I don't know them. Don't get me wrong. There's a young man who runs Equal Ground, who is amazing politician, and but I think that I wish there were more male organizations that push them, further in their skills to or be orators, to work a room, to think with their big head and not the little one.
Mhm.
But I think that might be just, the passage. You got to go through the passage, right? And
And you
I'm
got to be old enough to go through the passage.
right. But yeah, I have a couple of young ladies that I mentor, and just to let them know that you can get your point across, but you don't have to, twerk to do it. So
Right.
yeah,
That's a good point. That's another book right there.
where'd you go, Mark? You left us.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I want you to plug the Fresh Book Festival again,
Okay.
because I want to and your social media. Because one of the things I've realized when I watch other people's podcasts is the podcast goes off and the person never put out their information. I want the folks to find you. Want folks to be at the Fresh Book Festival. I want to meet some new family members, and I want to be up here for the next 20, 35 years saying, "Hey, we got you on the podcast back in 2025, and you've been coming to see us for the last 25 years."
I know. Well, I'm Donna Banks, Donna Gray Banks, across all platforms. You can reach me at Fresh Book Festivals with an S at gmail.com. Our website, which is being ramped up for 2026, is www.freshbookfestivals.net. And, I'm reachable. Just send me a DM, send me an email. Believe it or not, I'm not a talker on the phone. I just, I don't know. And I'm not sure why I get a lot of pushback for that. Even my good friends say you never call. But I'm saying, listen, call me. I'll talk. But I'm not going to pick up. Are you a talker on the phone, Yanda? Do you pick up?
I am. I actually, I'm gonna tell you what's funny. Years ago, you know how when everybody's texting, and years ago we went to the phone thing to get switch our phones over, and someone was on the phone, and the guy said he was talking to a couple of his coworkers at the like the Verizon place. He said he do something that most people don't do, and I was like, "What? Did I do something wrong? What? I've been on the wrong website?" He said, "Look, he talked. He got more minutes talking than he ever had texting." I said, "Look, I was like, did I do something wrong?" He said, "No, you talk on your phone for real, huh?" I was like, "Look, Donna, yeah." I thought something. I thought something was wrong. He said, "Look how many minutes he got for talking." I was like, "See, I talk to my brother every morning. I have a routine habit. My brother lives in the DC area, so every morning as I walk for the last 11 years, I talk to him.
Mm,
I talk
mm.
to him every morning as we walk, and he calls me a couple times during the day. And most time, I'm one of the people who actually I tell office I'm the one who answers the phone when somebody got that stupid question. You think it's a stupid question? You want to know what ISBN number is? Or you want to know something simple? I'm answering the phone. You text me and say, "Hey,
Yeah.
Yana, this such such." I'm gonna call because back then, and I do it for two reasons. I didn't have anybody, and because if you don't get the right information, you're gonna mess up some money.
Right, but listen, if you send me an email, I'm going to be
Yeah, you're
right
gonna mess
on
up
it.
some
I'm
money
going to,
because
I'm going to email you right back. But
you know what
Well,
nobody to come to back in the day, Donna.
yeah, you're
There
right.
was
I just,
nobody.
Right.
Every
hey, Don, I just came up with an idea for you because I always come up with innovative ideas, and you're uh, a festival is called the Fresh Bookstore and everything. I mean, the fresh. It's got fresh in the title, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, I think there's a grocery store. I think it's based in North Carolina and everything, and
It's
it's
called
a
Fresh.
specialty grocery store with 167 stores. So I think you should call the Fresh Market and see if they want to sponsor your festival, since both of y'all have fresh in the title and everything like that. So, like I said, maybe you have to reach the Fresh Market and see if they want to sponsor the Fresh Books.
You ain't said nothing but a word. I
Yeah,
got
and
the
for real, because
sponsorship
you've been doing
for
15 years. You're right. You're right, Don.
right.
You're right.
I mean, I reached out to Uncle Nearest on the blind, and I said, I really want you to be a sponsor, and they were last year, and they will
That's
be
true.
again this year. So, sometimes, and don't be afraid. Don't be
Mhm.
afraid.
Don't be afraid.
Sometimes I can't be afraid, just because nobody wants to be rejected. But what a great idea, Mark! I'm going to do that. I'm going to get that letter together.
Mark,
Apparently they were
Mark,
voted
I
the best
appreciate
grocery
you,
store
Mark.
deli
Yeah, yeah,
2024, and
yeah.
apparently they've won some other things in terms of like it looks like they got best grocery store bakery, best grocery store deli, and best grocery store prepared food. But fresh is definitely in their title, so I think
Yeah,
one fresh might as well sponsor the other fresh. So you might as well
exactly. I
go for
think
them and
that's a
everything.
great idea. Don't
So,
worry. Before the end of well, I have to have a radio show tomorrow, but by Thursday
By Thursday.
there will be a letter
like
prepared and sent to their
like
corporate
like
office.
Yonder said, all they can say is no, and if they say
Right.
yes, that could be some money for you.
Yeah.
What?
And they might
What?
say yes. I never thought Uncle Nearest would say yes. I
Yep.
mean, they didn't come with us with finance, but they sure took care of the party. And I
Oh, they did. I said, look, I'm not even a drinker. There was more drinks up in there.
Man, they
There
sure
was
took
more
care of the
drinks up
party.
in there.
Yeah, it was great. It was
That
great.
that was that it was so great.
Mhm.
Donna, what I like to do with what
Oh,
I do
we're
here.
winding down already. Wow, that
Yeah,
was
it's crazy.
yeah,
What I like to do is I want you to give folks some inspiration. To tell them folks, because and especially people don't realize that how hard it is to write a book and how easy it really is to write a book.
yeah. I think you have to have, first of all, you have to have a good partner,
Hmm.
right? Because you have to really go underground to finish a book. And so if you don't have a partner that's not confident in whatever they're doing, then you won't have the time to it takes and the disengagement. You really have to be disengaged.
You're just your body just did because like you said with
Yeah,
doing the work the right that we write and some of the mystery stuff. You have to really go to these places and you
right.
have to be there and your whole body has to be there because you have to write like you said. I'm with you, Don. I try to make it genuine as possible. You're gonna know that there was a
Yeah.
bug. There was a bug beside my foot as I was writing this because I seen him because I was looking at the light above. You have to, like you said, I want you to do the smells. Like you said, you can smell jasmine. I'm back in the old days. You can smell some Egyptian musk cologne on them. You know what I'm saying?
The sweet smell of jasmine. I mean,
Yeah,
you know what my pearl of wisdom is? Right. I don't care what you write, just write.
I
I
agree with you
mean, I
completely.
just think it's so important. I remember when I wrote The Day the Earth Stood Still, but just for me. And that's when my nephew died of pancreatic cancer.
Oh
And
man,
so those kinds of things will get you through joy, pain, and tragedy, right? So, right, it'll help you get through those times in life, and nobody else has to read it, right? I think I shared it with a couple of people, but like if your mother dies, the earth stood still for me, but nobody else. Because
yes.
that impact is for nobody else but me, right? So if I had a pearl of wisdom, come to the Fresh Book Festival, first of all, and
Hmm.
then and then just write. And if you don't know what to say to somebody, write them a letter.
Just write them a
If you
letter.
don't know what to say to your partner, write it
Write
down
them a letter. What?
because it really does. The communication makes all the and for us, and I know we got to go. For us, Yonder, I can be sitting there talking to my partner and go somewhere else, and he's like, "Okay, Donna, come back."
Come
I
on,
said,
right, right.
"Oh, okay,
I do it all the time. Some
come on,
days
come on,
I'm not
come
even in
on."
the country. Some days I'm not in the country.
Come on back.
Come back here.
Yeah, come on back. So make sure you have the right partner and just write and write for whoever will let you.
Yes. Well, thank you again. I call this Conversation with Friends,
It's great.
and I consider you my friend, my
I
mentor,
too.
and I enjoy everything about you. And I will be with you January 29th through 31st for the Fresh Book Festival, the
Yeah.
15th anniversary.
Which hopefully will be sponsored by Fresh Market and everything along those lines. So
I
we're
will
going to
let
get,
you know. Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
let me know. We're going to get out of here. I thought I'd give y'all a good laugh because this is a thing from the animal world and all along those lines. If I can get
Okay.
it going and everything, because good jokes are always fun.
In the morning, I do nothing. In the afternoon, I finish what I started in the morning. And in the evening, I rest. What do you do for a living, sir? In the morning, I do nothing.
I do nothing.
In the afternoon, I finish
And it's a
what I
picture of a
started in the
cat. So
morning.
basically, the cat is napping all day long.
I want to. If I have a time to come back, I want to come back as somebody's cat because man, they have a life, right?
Exactly. They just sit there and rest and
No,
relax.
if I ever came back, I want to be invisible.
Really, I want to
I,
You
come
want to
back.
be
Really,
what?
I want to
I
come
want to be
back as a man.
invisible.
I want to come back as a man. I want to see how the other half lives.
You
Oh,
want to come
you
back as a
dirty
man?
look.
You want to be invisible? Well, I actually had a friend that wrote a book. Speaking of books, they wrote a book because I've been featured in two books. One was a compilation that my friend Brian Showman did, and it was all about, my chapter was about not all of your friends are necessarily your family friends and everything, or your immediate family and everything. So the chapter I wrote was about how we're oftentimes connected to people that are a part of our family, even if they aren't our family. And that was what Brian Showman, who's a LinkedIn influencer, did in his, I think it's either his third or fourth compilation. But then, because of an animal that I think is cool, to your point, Don, and everything, and I've always thought they were cool. Some people tell me that they have a nasty streak and everything, but I just think that they look cool, and they created a character based on my love of otters, because I think otters look cool. Because I think otters look cool. So,
They built a great dam.
yeah.
Don't
And they're
otters
very
build
clean.
dams? Yeah, they build dams, right?
Olive Bill down, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so you want to be somebody who protects whatever you have. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm with that.
Mm.
All right, gentlemen, thank you so much.
Thank you so
Please
much,
call on
Donna.
me
I
anytime.
appreciate
I
you.
love it. Yeah. And
Fresh Book
thank,
Festival, January 29th through 31st, Daytona Beach.
yeah. Thank you, Mark. It was really nice meeting you, and I will take you up on that letter to Fresh Market for sure.
Sounds good. And on that note, we
Yonda,
get to
I'll
get out
see
of
you
here.
soon. Yeah. Okay. Bye, gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Mark.
No problem.
Thank you, Mark.